So we want to talk quickly about what is the function of a sound system within a church, because that's kind of the application. I know some of the guys that we have serving on the team do it externally for gigs and stuff like that, and I guess doing training within church is because this is the application primarily that you guys will be working in. So this is kind of a key phrase that I use with our tech guys at our church. The key purpose of the sound system here at Eternity is to amplify and enhance the music made by the worship team and the audio in general that happens throughout a service. So it does basically those two things. It amplifies it, because if you can't hear, if you can't hear the preacher or the singers or whatever, then you're not going to be able to actually connect and respond to the songs and the music. And enhancing it is all about, I guess, not making them sound better than they are, but making it sound really good. And I think from a personal point of view, it's actually really important that you guys, as you're working within the music team and with the sound team, that you really enjoy doing it. I kind of can't stress enough that if you don't really like it, you're going to not really like it. Yeah. You know, I do it. I do really enjoy it. I really do enjoy the creativity of it. I enjoy the technical part of it. My brain is kind of technically minded, more so than creative minded. So I love the troubleshooting and plugging stuff in and going, yes, that worked. But I also love kind of just under that, doing a nice mix and just kind of standing at the back and watching everyone worship and praise. And I love doing that and just going, yeah, like this is what it's about. Do you know what I mean? I get something out of it. So I really encourage you guys that, do be involved in the stuff that you enjoy doing. Do the tech stuff. You might not know necessarily, I don't really know, but just do it anyway, and you'll find out as you go along, oh yeah, I really get a lot out of this, or I really enjoy, finding the problem and solving it. I really enjoy the, learning. One of the things that I really like about tech as well, and even being here for the last couple of days, is just expanding what you know. New technology, right? Like I love the fact that the desk, you can mix it on an iPad and like all that stuff. I was like a kid in a candy store yesterday on Thursday. It was like, this is awesome, because that's what I enjoy. So do it because you enjoy it.
So let's break down the basics of a sound system, and this is the smallest sound system I could think of to demonstrate this. And believe it or not, any sound system or PA system is basically the same as this guy here. Now, by the way, PA system is just an old school way of, it's an acronym for public address system. I'll say PA or sound system from now on. And it's basically this. We have sound source. In this case, I have two. I have a vocal mic and a guitar coming out of this cable here. Comes into this little mixer. This mixer mixes them together, changes their tone and whatnot. Sends it out to a power amp inside here and then out to a speaker here. The purpose is to take these two sound sources here, mix them together, tweak their sound a little bit, then amplify it and send it out on its way so the audience can hear that. Believe it or not, the biggest PA you can think of is basically doing the same thing. A PA system is taking all the inputs from stage, running them into a mixer that has EQ and effects, then running that through an amp rack, then into a pile of speakers. That's the basic structure of a PA system, and there are a few other things like monitor stands and crossovers and things, but this is pretty much it in a nutshell. Sound sources going into a mixer, maybe some effects, then out to the amp and speaker combination. So the next time you go to a big concert, remember that for all those dozens of trucks of equipment that put together that massive sound system, this is really all that's going on. Sound sources going into a mixer, and those sources being mixed, EQ'd, and affected, then sent out to the amp and then speakers. Note the flow of signal here from our source into the mixer, then amp and speakers. I really want to get that into your consciousness, that is the flow, because then troubleshooting will just make a lot of sense. Like imagine this, for example. If I brought this up and I could hear my guitar, but I couldn't hear my vocal mic, then I could make the assumption that from the amp and the speakers on out in the mixer, everything from the mixer, amp and speakers is fine because I can hear my guitar here. But if I can't hear, then there must be something wrong between here and here. right? So maybe it's a bad mic cable, or say a bad microphone. Oh, actually, there's a switch on the top here. If I turn that on, there you go. So I just wanted to get you kind of used to this simplified idea of signal flow, because it will make a lot more sense and really help with your troubleshooting later on.
It follows the same principle. You have to have signal flowing in to your mixer. We're going to process it, and a big part of mixing is choosing where that signal goes. And that's what we are going to teach you if you don't know that already. DIs are pretty important to understand what they're doing, and without going into super detail, essentially most things give you two types of signal, and they're pretty easy to see or guess what types of signal are. One's called a mic level and one's called a line level. Usually a mic puts out a mic level. You getting that? You following? You still with me? Or anything that has the 3-pin XLR jack usually puts out a mic level signal. Anything that uses a TRS or 6.5mm, which is your normal mic, your normal guitar lead jack, is normally line level. So guitars, keyboards, DJ mixers. So they're the things that you need to convert from line to mic. The reason is that once you go into these stage boxes, which is what we'll go through tomorrow, they need to all be the same signal through, unless you can change them on the actual input. But we use DIs because it controls a lot of the signal, I guess the different varying signals that come from all the different varying instruments that we use, and makes it a lot easier for you at the back to adjust the levels. So you're using a DI. You can use them to turn unbalanced into balanced, and I won't go into that. Look it up on YouTube. It gives you control over dB, which is basically the intensity of the level coming out from the DI back down your mic line to your signal desk. So you often find guitarists, acoustic guitarists and pianos, they'll be plugged in and plugged into your DI, and when you're adjusting your input gain on the desk, which again we'll go through, the signal's just too high. You've cranked it right back to level 1 out of 10, and it's just too high. So these DIs have attenuation buttons. There's 2, which basically just cut that signal by 20 dB. If you put both buttons in, it doubles the amount of padding, it's called. So we use a DI again to control that, so that when we are having the signal come into the desk, it's a nice level similar to the mics that the singers are on. So it kind of evens out the playing field. It can remove hum. Michael assures me that it does. And that bottom one, if I put my head down, it converts. Sometimes you just have something that doesn't have an XLR plug. It's either an RCA or it's a headphone jack, and you want to plug it into the mixer, so you need it to convert from a stereo jack into an XLR.